INTPs are creative problem solvers, and it's important to really remember this because they could be a great catalyst during any kind of change, and especially during change management. They are able to really pull together and gather a great amount of information. They'll analyze it logically, and they're able to really create some wonderful, clear, and concise solutions. So they find change to be exciting because they love challenges, and they are going to get bored with any kind of routine. So having any kind of new problem or information is going to create some really wonderful, intense mental activity. The structure they develop is likely to be comprehensive and is going to be complex, and they're going to have tons of nuances and possibilities that are all very detail oriented. They're very satisfied with completing all of this internal process, and then, however, they may not really take into action and implement their structure because they've overlooked some necessary things and even the human factor. So their needs during a time of change is that they're very independent. They like that big picture. They want a lot of information. They love open time frames because they don't want to have an end. They want to be able to collect as much information without worrying about it being cut off. And they like to be in on that planning. They're going to need some reactions, and they're going to have these reactions if their needs are not met during that change. They will withdraw. They will procrastinate. They will not be focused. They will not apply themselves. They will resist. They will resent. They'll be sarcastic. They'll even become a critic and be cynical. When they're dealing with the loss associated by change, they will contribute by being open to these losses, and they are very easily able to cut off any kind of losses and simply move on. They're flexible, they adapt to change, and they see losses more as opportunities than as a time of grieving. They stay detached and logical, and they're concise and rational. However, they do have difficulty deciding when it's time to end something, accepting realities, taking care of details, and dealing with other people, especially their feelings. The transition period creates some reactions for the INTPs. They can become apathetic and withdrawn, and they try to figure things out and make sense of what is happening, and then they become resigned and even fatalistic. But they are great, and they tend to focus on, during this transition period, the possibilities. However, sometimes these possibilities become endless. They will internally process, and they will see the present from the perspective of both the past and the future. They're able to create a beautiful picture of the future internally. During the startup phase, they have some obstacles to start, and one of them is having to begin on someone else's schedule because they want to have their own timing, their own schedule, and their own process for dealing with deadlines. They will sometimes isolate themselves and procrastinate. They don't like dealing with details, and they don't like being required to include other people within their change process and starting up this phase. They can contribute, however, by seeing that whole picture, coming up with and selling that plan to other people because, remember, they're motivators. And also, they like to embrace the change and make change quickly and then leave the past behind.